eWalker was created for a client with mobility issues whose current walker spins, leaving him unbalanced. The client desires a safe and waterproof braking system that requires only one hand interaction point to stop the walker. Other one-handed walker braking systems do exist, but they are more expensive, and no alternative solutions require a force sensor to stop the walker. Here's a 3D model of our prototype. In this model, you can see the cable splitters box, the force sensor, and the electronical waterproof box. Here's our physical prototype. As you can see on the left side of the walker, there is the manual braking handle and the force sensor. Both of those lead down to the cable splitter, which is contained in a waterproof box. The cables leading out of the cable splitter lead to the braking pads on the rear wheels. Inside the cable splitter, there's a servo motor, which is controlled by the force sensor. Depending on how much force is applied on the force sensor will depend on how much the servo turns, which will then correspond to how much the brakes will be activated. Here's the activation of the manual brakes. To activate them, all you have to do is pull up on the brake handle. When you pull up on the brake handle inside the cable splitter, you can see that one cable pulls both the cables that lead to the rear brake pads. Here's the activation of the brakes using the electrical system. As you can see, when you push down on the force sensor, it will activate the brakes. Depending on how hard you push on the force sensor will depend on how far the motor turns. Depending on how far the motor turns will depend on how much pressure is applied to the brakes. To activate the parking brake, just push down on the handle. Even with the add-ons, you can see the walker is still foldable.